Hello and welcome to Film Mixologist. Today we're on the Lister D engine and I need to give you an update on, first of all, we're going to try the new rings on, the 10 overbore rings. And also I want to show you this. Obviously I've been working quite a bit as you can see on the water jacket, and this is how it's going to this is the final finish of the water jacket. As you can see, obviously the color is the color of mid brown suit green, which is the right color for the engine, and it just looks brilliant. The only thing is that, obviously, because I put a lot of masking tape here, I might have to just go over with a very kind of soft kind of sandpaper here, and I might have to kind of redo this, so kind of re-prime it, kind of thing. But that's okay, because part of the reason that I generally when I do this sort of things, I tend to, for example, these are obviously the tops, the top that goes here. This thing has 3 coats of primer, so I've applied them today between yesterday and today, and then I'm going to apply 2 coats of color on top of the primer. The reason I do this is because I want to have a lot of protection for the unit. So I want to make sure that if it's outside, if it rains once on the thing, it's absolutely nothing's gonna happen to it. And the way you do that is by just layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of paint. So I don't mind sanding some of this down. I've got absolutely tons of primer anyway, so I might as well just, you know, sand down a bit and just make it look really nice. And so this might require a couple of coats of paint. But now let's go in and try the new rings. So I'll show you what I do. I'll show you the cylinder in just a minute. Okay, so while I was off camera, one of the things I did was clean and oil the bore, so with just SAE 30, and so some people use toilet paper. I just use this kind of workshop thing. I cleaned and oiled very well the bore, because obviously when I take these measurements, the bore needs to have some oil in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a compression ring. So any compression ring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a dab of oil, not a lot, but just a little bit like this, so I know that the ring is oiled, so I don't want it kind of scuffing the bore or anything. Fabulous. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. Okay, yeah. So this is fine. This is sort of what I was expecting, which means I'll show you with the camera in a minute. So let's put the piston right from where the this height. Let's have a look. Make sure that it is true with the circumference. Okay, so let me try and show you here. So as you can see, the gap is much tighter there. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to measure that gap, but that gap seems to me that it's kind of more or less okay. So let me measure the gap at the top and at the bottom of the cylinder, and we'll take it from here. Okay, so I've got 19 thou here at the top. And now the other thing I need to do is I need to make sure that I need to measure how much have I got at the bottom of the travel of the cylinder. So basically I'm going to push this down a touch to about the wear mark, which is maybe a bit more. There you go. And now what I need to do is I need to take the measurement down there to compare the two. Okay, so at the bottom I've got 16 thou. I'm perfectly fine with this measurements. So now what I need to do is I need to check all of the rings that they are in tolerance. I'm going to measure just the top because I know that because of the position of the bore, if I have sufficient clearance at the top, then the bottom's going to be absolutely fine. So basically what I need to do now is put all the rings, measure them all up, and whoa, we're ready to start setting them on the piston and just get the piston ready. And so this build is going to start getting, it's going to accelerate quite a bit now. Okay, so thankfully everything checks out. I mean, all of the rings are obviously the right size. It's always good to check that, even though I asked for 10 over rings and I knew that they were going to be more or less the right size, it's always good to check. So, and the last one, I don't know, in the previous segment, what I had to do is, because the oil control ring sits here at the bottom, what I had to do is I had to kind of push it down to the bottom and just use the feeler gauge from below. But it's okay. It's all in tolerance. So actually, this is really good news. So now I can start building this engine again. I just need to clean the piston one final time and just start reassembling it with the 10 thou over rings. And obviously before I do that, I might need to just tidy this up, maybe re-primer the hopper, so once I start doing this, I don't have to just come back through it again. But this is actually good news. I feel that I'm making a lot of progress. I mean, I'm doing a lot of work on this project behind the scenes that you don't see it. Like, for example, today I've spent hours upon hours priming this thing. This is the this has 3 coats of primer already, and so on and so forth. So I've been doing lots of stuff, but it seems like it's that kind of what I call the frustration stage, where you do a lot but you have very little to show for it. So anyway, onwards and upwards. I'll on the next episode maybe we'll be ready to start putting the piston in, and See you next time. Great.